Materials, yarn, obviously. This is acrylic. Wow, this is acrylic. This is probably like your best starter yarn because it's cheap and it's like pretty versatile. You might not want to stick with acrylic, but I like it for several projects. It has its uses. You'll need a crochet hook. I have many. This is probably my favorite. Oops. This is my 4.5 millimeter hook. I use it for many things. And then you will want a scissor. So, okay, I'm putting this section in because I realized that I forgot to tell you how to hold the hook. So first of all, hold the hook the way that is most comfortable for you. This is what's most comfortable for me. So this is how I hold it. I hold it like a pencil. Well, like a pen. Do I write? Yeah, like a pen. I have it resting on my middle finger and in this little divot. And then I have my thumb on this like flat part. And this is what is most comfortable for me. I don't have any problems with my wrist. I can crochet pretty fast holding it like this, but it's not comfortable for everybody. So don't feel like married to holding your hook like this. A lot of people hold their hook like this and then crochet this way. That is where I yarn. When you watch the tutorial, you'll understand. Where I yarn under, because of the way that I hold my hook, if you hold your hook this way, you're going to yarn over because it's much easier to yarn over when you hold your hook like this. I do not like holding it like this because it makes me crochet slow. But it is more comfortable for other people. And I'm sure there are probably other ways to hold your hook. You will mostly probably figure out how you like holding it the longer you crochet. But yeah, so let's get into the tutorial. To make a slip knot, you're going to take your yarn, obviously. You're going to drape it over your pointer finger, this one. The tail of the yarn will be closest to you. This is the tail right here, closest to you. You're going to take the other part of the yarn and you're going to move it to behind the tail yarn and then wrap it over in front. You have to make sure it's in front. And then you're going to pull the loop in front over the loop, and then that is a slip knot. And then you tighten it by pulling the yarn that's still attached. And there you have it, a slip knot. We're going to do it again. Okay, we're back. The fan is off, unfortunately. So, tail closest to you. Take the other part of the yarn, wrap it behind, just like this, and then you're going to wrap it in front. Pull it over. And there's your slip knot, and you're going to put your hook through the slip knot and tighten it like that. And this is how you start every single crochet project there is, I'm pretty positive. It is so hot in here. So from here, you're going to do a chain. You hook your hook around actually to show you how to hold the yarn for your tension, I scoop it up around my pinky, just like that, and then, yeah. And my middle fingers are on top of it, and it is over my pointer finger. Okay, so now to do a chain. You hook your hook around the yarn, and you pull it through, I hate doing chains. You pull it through the loop that's already on your yarn. So hook it around, pull it through the loop that's already on the yarn. Hook it around, pull it through the loop that's already on your yarn. Hook it around, pull it through the loop that's already on your arm. Hook. Loop it around, pull it through the yarn that's already on the hook. loop it around, or hook it around, pull it through. Oh my goodness. Hook it around, pull through. 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 There you go. And here you have a chain. And okay. So this is the front side of the chain. Like this is oh my goodness. This is the front side of the chain. And then this is what the back looks like. It has these ridges in the middle, whereas this side, it's all V's. This is ridges. So to do a single crochet, you are going to, so you have the loop on your hook, and then you have the one directly under it. That is the first loop. You're going to skip the first loop, and you're going to, and la 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 la. Okay, so this is the first loop. As you can see, the first loop. This is the second loop right here. This second loop, how do I explain this? Okay, you're gonna put your hook through this like ridge here instead of the actual like loop, because it will look cleaner. And the reason that you skip the first one is because that first loop will act as its own single crochet for the end of the row. So this is technically the second single crochet of the row, but it's the first one that you're actually like doing. And no, I did not tell you what I just did, but because I wanted to show you. So how to do a single crochet. You put your hook through the next ridge. You don't skip any. And you're going to yarn under, pull through, and now you have two hooks, or two loops on your hook, and then you're going to pull through both. Oh yeah, you're going to pull through both, and then into the next ridge you're going to put your hook. Please just go through. I don't use chains like this. I use foundation chains. So, and this is much easier than learning to do a foundation chain. I will teach you how to do that in another video. But yeah, yarn under, pull through both loops. Put your hook through the ridge, just like that. And then yarn under, pull through both, yarn under, yarn under, pull through both. I hope you can't hear what's happening outside my window. Hook through, pull through the loop, pull through both. Yarn, oh geez Louise. Oh my god. Put your yarn through the little ridged loop. Yarn under, pull through. Yarn under, pull through two. Put your hooks through the ridge. And on the, see at the bottom, as you can see, the little V's are neat and tidy. Sensation. Yarn under, pull through. Yarn under, pull through both loops. Through the ridge, yarn under, pull through. Yarn under, pull through two. Yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn through the ridge. Sometimes the yarn splits. There we go. Yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, through the ridge, yarn under, pull through 2, 3, and then the last one, yarn under, pull through 2. So this is our first row of single crochet. To do the next row, you're going to chain 1 and then turn your work, and this is what the back looks like. This is what the top looks like. You have those V's again, but this time there's no extra ridge. So to do the next row, you're going to go under the 2 V's. Oh geez. So you have this one, and then you have the second one. So your hook is directly under both of those V's. And then you're going to yarn under and then pull through, and then yarn under and pull through 2. So again, through the V's, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, through the V's, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, through the V's, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, through the V's, 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 yarn under, pull through 2, and the last stitch of the row is the loop that we skipped when we started chaining into, or single crocheting into the chain. So you still have that V that you're going to go through. Yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, yay! Oh my god, slay. We've done 2 rows, and then you can just go back and forth as you get used to the motion of doing the single crochet. I sound like I'm out of breath. I'm just warm, I'm sorry. Anyway, next thing I'm going to show you is how to increase and decrease. So you've chained 1, turn your work. Increasing and decreasing, oh my mother god. Increasing and decreasing is how you do shaping, and it's fairly simple. I'm going to show you how to increase first because it's easier, and then I'll show you how to decrease. So to do an increase for single crochet, you're going to basically go through the V just like normal, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. Now to increase, you're going to go through the same V, same stitch, pull up, yarn over, pull up again. I'll show you again. In the next stitch, through the V, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through. In the same stitch, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through. So that's an increase. To do a decrease, you're going to go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up, just like normal, and then in the next stitch, so not the same stitch like a decrease, but in the next stitch, you're gonna go through the V and then pull up a loop. So you'll have 3 loops on your hook, and then you'll pull through all 3. So you've gone from 2 single crochets, you've gone from 2 single crochets at the row below to now 1 at the row above. So again, in the next stitch, you'll put your hook through the V, yarn over, pull through. In the next stitch, through the V, yarn over, pull through, and then you'll yarn under and pull through both, or all 3. I said yarn over, I meant yarn under, my bad. And that is how you do a single crochet increase and decrease. So that is it for the single crochet section. Now we're going to move on to half double. Okay, hi, we're back to do the half double. Here's the chain. It's the same chain as before. I hate chaining, as I've said before, and I didn't feel like redoing it. However, for practice, you should undo your whole or actually don't undo your whole single crochet. Just start over with another section of yarn, and practice doing the slip knot and chaining, because it does come in handy. I think that I'm just a freak because I don't see most people doing foundation chains instead of regular chains. So here we have what we have. So to do half double crochet, you're going to yarn over, and then not in the first loop, not in the second loop, but in the 3rd loop from the hook, you're going to go into that ridge, put your hook through, yarn under, pull through. So you have 3 loops on your hook, and then you're gonna pull through all 3, and that's a half double crochet. The end of the row, those 2 hoop loops that you skipped, that's the first half double crochet of the row. Just like single crochet, but instead of 1 loop, it's 2. So yarn over, this is where you yarn over. Through the ridge, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through all 3. Yarn over, put your hook through the ridge, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through all 3. Yarn over, hook through the ridge, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through all 3. Yarn over, hook through the ridge if it'll go through, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through all 3. Yarn over, hook through the ridge, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through all 3. This is my favorite stitch, fun fact. Also, last time I did this video, my wrist snapped at the same spot, but I don't think you heard it. Yarn over, hook through the ridge, snapped again, what the heck? Yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through all 3, yarn over, through the ridge, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through all 3. Warm. Yarn over, through the ridge. Ooh, where are you? Where you at? Where you at? Through the ridge. Stop splitting. Through the ridge, yay. Yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through all 3. Yarn over, through the ridge, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through all 3, yarn over, through the ridge, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through all 3, yarn over, through the last ridge, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through all 3. Hey ya. At the end of the row, you chain 2. Well, first of all, congratulate yourself, you did the first row of half double crochet, and then you chain 2, and then you turn your work. This is the back of a half double crochet, and so you have a V at the back, and then you have a V at the top. These are your 3 loops that you pulled through. 1, 2, and 3. So continue. So to do your second row, you yarn over, and you're going to go through this hole that's under all 3 loops. So this is the bottom loop, and you're going to go through the hole that's under that, and then you're going to yarn under and pull through, and then yarn under, pull through all 3. So all 3 loops are within the half double crochet that's on top of the first one. So yarn over, go through the hole under the bottom loop, pull up, yarn over, pull through all 3, yarn over, through the hole, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through all 3, yarn over, through the hole, yarn over, pull, or yarn under, pull up, yarn under, pull all 3, yarn over, through the hole. I have to scratch my face. Yarn under, pull up, yarn under, pull through all 3, yarn over, through the hole, yarn under, pull up, yarn under, pull through all 3, yarn over, through the hole, yarn under, pull up, yarn under, pull through all 3. Ooh. Sorry, the tripod's balanced on my thighs and I just had to move. Yarn over, through the hole, yarn under, pull up, yarn under, pull through all 3, yarn over, through the hole, yarn under, pull up, yarn under, pull all 3, yarn over, through the hole, yarn over, pull up, yarn under, pull through all 3, yarn over, through the hole, yarn under, pull up, yarn under, pull through all 3, yarn over, through the hole, yarn under, pull up, yarn under, pull up all 3, and this is important, yarn over, and you're going to go through the V of the very first 2 chains. Well, you're going to go through the V of one of the chains, but it's one of the 2 chains that acts as the last half double crochet at the end of the row, and you must do this, otherwise your whatever you make is going to look wonky. So pull through the V, pull through all 3, and this is your second crochet or second row of half double. And now I'm going to teach you how to increase and decrease. So yarn or chain 2, flip it over, turn your work, yarn over, we're going to go through the hole again, through the hole, this is increasing by the way, yarn over, pull up, yarn under, pull through, yarn over, in the same stitch, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through all 3. So it's the same as single crochet, but instead of single crocheting, you're half double crocheting into the same stitch to get an increase. Once again, yarn over into the next stitch, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through all 3, yarn over into the same stitch, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through all 3. Now to decrease, you're going to yarn over into the next stitch, yarn under, pull through, so you have 3 loops on your hook, and then in the next stitch you're going to go into the next stitch, yarn under, pull up a loop, and then you'll have 4 loops on your hook, so you're going to yarn under and pull through all 4. That is a half double decrease. So you've gone from 2 half doubles in the row below to 1 half double in the row above. So once again, yarn over into the next stitch, yarn under, pull through, 3 loops on your hook into the next stitch, yarn under, pull through, so you have 4 loops on your hook, and then you're going to pull through all 4, and that's it. And when you finish a project to bind off, I guess, I don't know, we don't do that in crochet, that's only in knitting. You just cut the yarn here and you just pull it through. I'm not doing that because that would be wasteful, because I'm just going to unravel this to show you how to do a double crochet. So I will show you cutting the yarn at the end, I guess, which would still be wasteful but less so. But I'm going to put it in my waste yarn thing to reuse for something else. Anyway, that's half double, decreasing and increasing. And now we're going to move on to double. Hello gang, you're back for double crochet. I know you're shocked. So we have our chain here. We have our chain here. So make sure you hold your yarn. So to do a double crochet, you're going to yarn over just like a half double crochet, but instead of going into the 3rd loop from the hook, you're going to go into the 4th one, so that you will have 1, 2, 3 loops or 3 chains at the end of the row that will act as a double crochet on its own, just like with single crochet at the end of the row and half double crochet at the end of the row. So yarn over, and 1, 2, 3, 4th loop from the hook, we're going to put our hoop through, and then you're going to yarn under, pull through, and this looks like a half double, but it's not, because you're going to yarn over or yarn under and just pull through. Hello, let's do over. 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry. So yarn under, pull through, and then you're going to yarn under and pull through only 2 loops on your hook. So you're still left with 2 loops, so then you're going to yarn under, pull through both, and that's how you get a double. So once again, yarn over, hook through the loop, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, and then yarn under, pull through 2 again, yarn over, through, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2 again, yarn over, through the loop, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2 again, yarn over, through the loop, yarn under, pull through, and then yarn under, pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2 again, yarn over into the next stitch. Whoa, why would you get so small? Ugh. There we go. Yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2 again, yarn over through the next stitch, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, pull through 2 again, yarn over, the stitch, yarn under, pull up, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2 again. As you can already see, it's a little bit looser, but it is bigger than both a single and a half double. Yarn under, or yarn over, through the stitch, yarn under, pull up, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn over, through the last stitch, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2 again. So here's your first row of double crochet. To do the next row, you're going to chain 3, oopsie-doodle, and then you're going to turn your work. I'm sure you're familiar at this point. So you're going to yarn over, and well, the top of double crochet looks like the top of single crochet. Essentially, it's, you still have those V's, so you're gonna go into the first V, and you're gonna yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2 again, yarn over into the next V, excuse me, sorry, this is the next stitch space. You're going to yarn under, pull up a loop, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 again, yarn under, or yarn over into the next V, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2 again, or pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2 again, yarn over into the next stitch, yarn under, pull through 2, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2 again, yarn over through the next stitch, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2 again, yarn over into the next stitch, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2 again, yarn over, yarn into the next stitch, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2 again, yarn over into the next stitch, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2 again, yarn over into the next stitch, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2 again, yarn over into the next stitch, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2 again, and then yarn over and into the last double crochet, which is the 3 chains. So the top chain you'll put your hook into, and then yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2 again. And this is 2 rows of double. Yeah, for the rest, so like if you were to, first of all, chain 3 and then turn your work, you would chain into all of these V's at the end of the row. The chain 3 that we did at the first, or at the start of the second row, that does not count as a double crochet. You do not put your hook through the top of that loop. You only do it here because it's what started the row in the first place. But like moving forward, you do not, this does not count as a double crochet. So don't chain into it, basically. Like if you did this whole row and then you chained 3 and came back, you would not chain into the top of this because it doesn't count, basically. But now I'm going to teach you, whereas with a single crochet and a double or a single and a half double, those chains count. This one does not. I don't know why, but it doesn't. So what I'm going to show you now is how to increase and decrease. And increasing is going to work the exact same way as the other ways, but instead of doing those stitches, you're going to do a double crochet. So yarn over into the first chain space, you're going to put your hook through, and then you're going to yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2 again. Hello, don't split on me. And you're going to yarn under into the same first chain space. You're going to yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2 again. I'm going to show. Okay, sirens, work. All right, so yarn on over into the next stitch. You're going to yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2 again, and then yarn over into the same stitch, yarn under, pull through, yarn under, pull through 2, yarn under, pull through 2 again. And that is an increase. To do a decrease, you're going to yarn over into the next stitch, you're going to yarn under, pull up a loop, and then into the next stitch you're going to go, you're going to yarn under, and you'll have 4 loops on your hook, and you're going to yarn over, pull through 3, so then you'll have 2 loops on your hook, and then you're going to yarn under and pull through 2. So again, yarn over through the next stitch, yarn under, pull up a loop, so you'll have 3, and then into the next stitch you're going to yarn under and pull through, so you'll have 4. So you're going to pull through the first 3, so then you'll have 2 loops on your hook, and then you're going to pull through the last 2, and there you have it. And this is where you cut the yarn, pull through. So that is my tutorial of how to do pretty much the basics of crochet. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions and I need to clarify anything, comment down below. If you made it this far, thank you for watching the whole thing. This was a request from someone. I wasn't originally going to make it, but there seemed to be some interest, so here it is. Thank you for watching. Comment, subscribe, like, all that fun stuff. Share if you know anybody who wants to learn to crochet. Yeah.